We'll talk to you about playing tennis after a long layover, or returning to the game, or just tennis after age 35 or more, older, for per se. There are four big differences from playing tennis when you're older than as a junior: physical, mental, technique, and time. And ironically, when I talk about time, I'm talking about how much time you have to play, like you have the job now. And we'll look at these aspects about how life changes after age 35. What normally happens when you play ITFs is you don't have a lot of players in the lower categories, 35, 40, 45, but everyone starts to play at 50, 55, and 60. But when you come back to the game after a long layoff, there's possibility of injury. So it's important to come back properly and think about what you're doing, to plan it out. You don't want to just go to the park and start playing tennis. Our bodies aren't built for tennis. Tennis is not a healthy game for your body. It's asymmetrical, building often one side of your body more than the other side. So the first thing, physical. How heavy are you now? I mean, you probably haven't played for like 10 years, 5 years. And this makes a difference for your knees and your back, plus your feet. These are the kind of injuries you get: ankle, knees, back. So try to bring your weight down as much as possible before you start to play, and really think about the effect of weight on your game. How strong are you now? I mean, are you physically strong to play tennis? Can you do push-ups and sit-ups? For a tennis player, the biggest problem is going to be your core. So you have to make sure you have a strong core, strong stomach, strong back, and make sure you're flexible. Because if you're not flexible, you're going to hurt your back, you're going to hurt your elbow, you're going to hurt your shoulder before you even get started. Finally, what is your flexibility? You're old now. It's time to start stretching. You can't just go out and play. You got to plan on how you're going to play. Will your back hold up to a kick serve? Can you do a stretch volley? Can you lunge for a drop shot? These are all important issues as you think about your physical abilities. Mentally, the one good news is you are not that young anymore, but you'll see it in your head, but you can't do it physically. The ball is going wide and you're trying to get to the ball and you just don't get there. You gotta figure out what your physical limits are. Secondly, the one plus is you'll be a lot calmer than you used to be as a kid. You won't be fiery, you won't be angry, you won't feel the anger when you play the tennis. It doesn't course through you anymore, it kind of flows. It might ebb a little. But now you're too calm. And so you might have to find a way to get yourself into the match. So you play harder and you play better. And your mental awareness is not going to be as good as it was before. You're not as young as you were. When I was 19, I could play StarCraft and play video games, and I could do 10 things. As I age, I can't do any of those things. So when I play, it's very important for me to focus on things. I find that I can't focus for long periods of time anymore. It takes a lot of energy from me. So I gotta focus only when the point starts. Third thing is technique. Old habits die hard. If you have a junk forehand or backhand, you'll probably still have a junk forehand or backhand. But you don't want to go into the new game of tennis using the old habits. You want to try and incorporate modern parts of the game. Read the literature, take a lesson, watch how people play. Try a new stick. You might get some new tricks. They got good rackets out there. My suggestion is use a racket based on the racket you did. Head Racket Classic, they still make it. Uh, Wilson Enco 3, they brought it back. Find a racket that was like your Pro Connects back in the day, or Prince Pro. Go with If you play with oversized, play with oversized. If you play with mid-size, play with mid-size. But take a look at the new rackets and see how they feel. Use the technology. Shoes are better, they're lighter. Use the clothing. There's compression. There's dry fit. They even have compression socks. Use the technology as much as possible, and use technology in terms of playing with the strings. Strings are the biggest difference now. Polyester strings kill. The faster you swing, the better it is. Lastly, you don't have time anymore. You have a job. So plan your tennis out. Try to trade 3 to 4 times a week. Ideally, one singles and one doubles a week is good enough to get your game back. If you want to train and get better, you probably need to play 3 to 4 times a week. But plan it accordingly. You have a life, you have a family, you have a job. You need to have rest days between. You can't play every day. You're going to get injured. Active rest is now a planned thing. These are things you need to think about when coming back to the game. You can't just roll back into the game and jump on it. You have to think about what you're going to do in terms of how you get better, how you're going to plan your series to get to a tournament, plan out the tournaments, plan your training. I look at a big tournament 2 months away and I start dieting, I start working on my fitness, I try getting ready for a tournament. I think of all these different things. So coming back to the game, you want to do it right without injury, take a moment and plan it all out.